Blakk Rasta abe expose Kofi both Abranti FBI for arresting over 100 million scam money.
But who is supposed to be the biggest frenemy of NAM1? Do you know? Hey! Now after the cars were gone, Kofi both sent the money that he got from the sales of the two beautiful cars, a Bentley and a Benz, and sent to NAM1. He paid his lawyers and they did a good job. He returned to Ghana very, very much a free man, at least. A few days later, NAM1 was driving on the streets and he saw his Bentley. And he turned to look who was driving this Bentley, Kofi boat. And when he looked at the number plate, Kofi boat.
Out of Nyabotre, next video to the very last end. Watch video on YouTube. Unyan subscribe. First thing I also here, am I? And it's always subscribe. Now, Blakk Rasta have a keys surrounding Kofi boat and how bad a friend he is. According to him, Osina Kofi boat near NAM1, they were very, very close. In fact, best of friends. Now, I say Kofi boat betrayed NAM1 when he was in a big trouble by, tricking him to sell some of the lavish cars, too expensive cars to him in a very, very tricky and mind-blowing way. Or say, Kofi boat some time back, a mirror, Chesena NAM1, Ehiamwa, a chain wo Dubai, a contacting a very good friend, a Kofi boat, say on Buano. Chese onje cars be enkoye collateral, onje loan. Say nebe obetria some lawyers near sorting it out. Ama ye jaino. Or see Kofi boat at the game fraud tactics. E fa neniso. Emma chese NAM1 ton cars me anyway instead of using as collateral for loan. Emma ne cheap. Only for NAM1 to return to Ghana to find out say Kofi boat and chese edi ejuma edino. This revelation assigns so a shaky table massively. And wasting more time. Mama yenko tie Blakk Rasta in full na nyabotre netien from the beginning to the very last end.
But who is supposed to be the biggest frenemy of NAM1? Do you know? It's a guy called Kofi Boat. That's this guy. He's a businessman, so rich.
Vimbas.
In fact, a lot of people know how opulent this guy here called Kofi Boat is. That's him. In fact, he owns businesses around Ghana, and one of them is a thriving business that is like a cold store. It does a lot. My brother, my sister. And this business, my brother, my sister, is thriving. But where is he making his money from? This is the business. This is Kofi Boat's business. And he does more. And he's associated with some musicians in Ghana. One of them is our very own Shatta Wale. He calls Kofi Boat his godfather. This is Shatta Wale. With Kofi Boat, Shatta Wale reveres him so much. He's a rich man. And you know Shatta Wale likes rich people. Kofi Boat is also associated with a Nigerian singer. And I am talking about Burna Boy. Burna Boy tweeted some time ago that when he came to Ghana, it was Kofi Boat who took care of him, put him in his house, and he even afforded him his car to drive around. But now, Burna Boy, is richer than Shatta Wale and Kofi Boat and all his godfathers combined. He said this when he had a beef with Shatta Wale. So these are some of the people associated with Kofi Boat. There's also a lady who is associated with him. And this lady is Hajia for real. We all know Raja for real, right? She is associated with Kofi Boat. How does that make him a frenemy of NAM1? Now listen to this and come here. Watch this. Kofi Boat and NAM1 have been very close friends.
Vimbas.
Business partners. And beyond that, they met time after time. When NAM1 was arrested in Dubai, his businesses in Ghana were folding up. And he contacted Kofi Boat and asked him to do well to support the businesses a little bit. And one of those businesses was Xylophone, a radio station that was based right here in Accra that I played on. In fact, electricity bills became a very big problem to pay at Xylophone. As for salaries for over 14 months, in fact, going to 16, 18 months, nobody was paid whilst NAM1 was arrested and locked up in the gallows of Dubai. Kofi Boat was asked to come to the rescue of Xylophone, at least to pay some of the bills like electricity, but it never happened. That was the first time I heard the name Kofi Boat, and I was told how much he had. My brother, my sister, now the interesting thing I need you to see is this. Whilst NAM1 was locked up in Dubai, he needed money to be able to pay lawyers to fight his case. He called on his very good friend Kofi Boat and told him, listen, Kofi, I am hot. I'm in trouble. You see some of the things that I have. I need you to send them out and get a loan for me so that when I return, I will pay and get these things back. And he gave out 2 items. One Bentley and one Benz. State of the art at the time. Gave this out to Kofi Boat and said, look for a loan for me. When you get me the loan, I would use that. Let the person keep this as collateral. When I return, I will pay and take back this. But Kofi Boat, probably knowing who his friend NAM1 was and what NAM1 could do and could not do, and the gravity of the problem he found himself in, he told NAM1 that he couldn't find any money lender who was ready to take the Bentley and the Benz and give a loan. But he had found somebody who was ready to buy the cars at auction prices. NAM1 was hot. So he told Kofi Boat, you know what? Please give them out. The prices were so low, but NAM1 was so hot. He decided that, listen, these are just property. Let them go. Life is more important. And he gave that out to Kofi Boat. Come here, my youth. Watch this. Hey. Now, after the cars were gone, Kofi Boat sent the money
Vimbas.
he got from the sales of the 2 beautiful cars, a Bentley and a Benz, and sent to NAM1. He paid his lawyers, and they did a good job. He returned to Ghana very, very much a free man, at least. A few days later, NAM1 was driving on the streets and he saw his Bentley. And he turned to look who was driving this Bentley, Kofi Boat. And when he looked at the number plate, Kofi Boat. So that meant Kofi Boat sold the cars to himself at the price that he dictated because his friend was hot. He decided to manipulate the whole situation, sold the 2 cars to himself. He was not ready to give out his money to his very good friend NAM1. My brother, my sister, when NAM1 returned to the country and saw this, he decided to sever all ties with his friend, Kofi Boat. They are no longer friends. Maybe they became friends again only 2 days back. My brother, my sister, Xylophone collapsed. He was sold out. NAM1's business is crashed to the ground like a house of cards. Up till now, he's yet to recover. And interestingly, it just came out. The source of the riches of Kofi Boat. Where is Kofi Boat getting his money from? He belongs to a certain criminal entity known as the Enterprise.
So that is Blakk Rasta for you. Blakk Rasta and Abba be keys no eyeshe panya sem keto akra. Now, after watching this video, what do you have to say concerning Kofi Boat? Well, Kofi Boat and Nkrofo Echiom with him no chese ya extradite US as we speak to you now. Update on them is a bit sketchy now, so should any update come on their case,
Vimbaz TV.